Samkhya is a deep game prototype based on ancient Indian philosophy, meditation, and derealization. It aims to answer the following questions. How can the dualist philosophy of Samkhya be used to communicate Indian culture and emotions through video games? How can derealization be leveraged in video games? Should it be leveraged? Should meditation be used in video games? And if so, how can it be used? In the beginning, there was nothing but void, just infinite potential. And then came consciousness and nature. Purusha was pure consciousness, unchanging and passive, and Prakriti was the material world, dynamic and active. Together, these form the underlying attributes of the ancient philosophy of Samkhya. The direct translation of Samkhya is enumeration or relating to number. This is because Samkhya describes various sets of enumerations, from 25 basic principles to instinctual predispositions to the set of realms. Samkhya is one of the most fundamental systems of Indian thought and has deeply influenced schools like yoga, Jainism, Buddhism, and Hinduism. India has one of the largest demographics and a huge gaming sector that continues to grow. This makes it a market waiting to be disrupted. The market comes with its own challenges, however, like access to technology and many people refusing to pay for games. Although games like Raji and Asura exist, they have not been built as deep games and rather align more into a genre with the aim of being monetarily successful. The aim of my game will be to provide a groundwork and a jumping off point, since making authentic games for this market proves to be useful. There is also another audience, which is the general audience. While the Indian audience has the obvious benefit of its desire to be represented in video games, the broader general audience stands to gain from the understanding of a different culture and philosophy. The main document that I will be using for an accurate description of Samkhya is The Philosophy of Samkhya by Gerald James Larson, which provides a cohesive viewpoint on how the various enumerations connect together and form the workings of the mind and metaphysics. It's important to know, however, that Samkhya alone cannot provide enough knowledge to build a game. Fundamentally, a game needs to be fun. To help with that, I'll be making use of various ideas from books like Jesse Shell's Art of Game Design, Advanced Game Design by Ernest Adams, and Making Deep Games by Doris Ruch. Other resources include, but are not limited to, academic literatures on meditative apps, GDC talks that talk about making various games similar to Journey, and whatever else I can get my hands on. Having gone through many of these, I can see the strong possibility for a VR game, since it is a state of the art technology that could provide a good jumping off point. Other state of the art technologies could include procedural generation, AI co creation, emotional design, short form replayable loops, and minimalist games. Having said all of this, some research on art would also help to tie everything in together. I was recommended a Rasa Reader and a Student's Handbook of Indian Aesthetics by William Huber, and will also make use of modes of visual narratives in early Buddhist art. Having learned from my previous project, people found the interaction with various architectural elements pleasing, like stepwells and pillars. But a common complaint was the game feel felt bad. The final artifact format will be a prototype of a game made using Unreal Engine. Having experimented previously with making a game based on Samkhya and making a game in Unreal Engine, I want to further my research on Samkhya and my skills in Unreal Engine for this project. You can find out all about my other projects by scanning the QR code or following the links. On a high level, I have about 10 weeks left. Assuming everything goes smoothly, I want to dedicate about 4 weeks to pre-production and 6 weeks to production. This is a good balance because the aim of the project is to make a high quality vertical slice prototype that is heavily grounded in research. I also want to integrate learnings from previous projects like maintaining a Git repo, QA Excel sheets, and an agile system to log all my tasks. In 1955, Satyajit Ray created Patha Panchali, a film with many similar dualist themes like death and impermanence, and modernity and tradition. Although this film didn't do too well in the Indian cinema, it inspired many filmmakers around the world like Wes Anderson and Martin Scorsese.
So there were no books in my house, and I think there was no other way for me to be introduced to Indian culture, the Indian people, aside from watching his films.
I want to acknowledge that my game will probably not be very sellable. The aim of the project is to provide a jumping off point. I am also working at the risk of appeasing to a specific audience, which could possibly not work with a lot of other people, and considering there are 3 good questions that are being answered through the making of this project, it is possible that distributing work could cause insufficient work in all 3, which would normally not be a problem if I had to focus on just one question. But on the other hand, I stand to gain from creating something that could bring fun to an ancient philosophy that's lost so much of its original form through time. Samkhya is a deep game prototype based on ancient Indian philosophy, meditation, and derealisation. You can find all about it in much more detail on my website here. Thanks for watching.